right, St. Croix, good morning. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, this week's theme of godly wisdom in a digital world, pick up right where we left off yesterday in Ephesians chapter 5. Verse 3 says, "But among you there must not be even a hint of sexual morality." Not even a hint. Nothing that would make someone think of you like, oh, maybe that's someone who takes sexual morality lightly. Not even a hint. Maybe it's something they got going on in their life. Not even a hint. And then that sets the context. Now, everything the Apostle Paul is addressing after is just different specifics of sexual morality and how it might show up in our lives. So not even a hint of sexual morality or of any kind of impurity or of greed. Sexual greed is lust, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity. So speaking of sex in an obscene and inappropriate and vulgar way that degrades and objectifies a person. To speak of them to someone else in this just very misplaced, arrogant, objectifying way, that's improper. Nor foolish talk. So not talk about sex or people like you're bragging about some kind of sexual escapade or something. Like, eventually you'll grow up and know only an idiot would talk like that. Like, that is foolish. That is foolish talk. Or coarse joking. Sex is not a punchline. Sex is not a joke. Sex is not a pastime. Sex is not entertainment. Any and all of this is out of place, but rather thanksgiving. That sex is something we can thank God for. None of that, not even a hint, but rather thanksgiving. So, how does this apply to godly wisdom in a digital world? Pretty clear. We'll talk about pornography. And I know, some of you, right? Already said it multiple times last year. Right? Why are you talk about that so much? Because people are looking at it so much. Maybe you've heard me say before that when I'm in this space with this group of people, I figure about 75% of the guys and over a third of the girls are looking at pornography at least once a month. Because I believe the stats. And I don't think we're exempt from the stats. And you put those together, and on average, we're looking at the majority of the people in this room are looking at pornography at least once a month. And the numbers get higher among Gen Z, which you students are all at the tail end of. The numbers are highest among Gen Z than any other generation. A generation that has been raised on ubiquitous screens and increasingly disconnected parenting and multi-generational relationships. And where do you look? Where do you get answers? Where do you go to ask your questions? Videos. And so now, for the first time, it's reported that the majority of Christians are admitting to looking at pornography at least once a month. The numbers don't go down among Christians. In fact, they go up. Oh. And that's according to Barna. Barna, they know they're good at what they do. That's why I trust the stats. That was a Barna study that came out last year. So 2024, the study's already a year old, and the numbers keep going higher. Now, why might the numbers be higher among Christians? My best guess is because other sexual sins or sinful sexual lifestyles, the numbers for other sexual sins tend to go down among Christians. But this one seems hidden, and it seems harmless, or at least that's what the majority of Christians seem to be trying to convince themselves of. I will say, this is a pretty uniquely American issue. These are U.S. averages. These are U.S. stats. and no country has stats as high as the U.S. on this. But with people trying to convince themselves that it's harmless, it's not true. It's just an incomplete list of not only potential but likely harms and negative effects of use of pornography. Here's what we're up against. 2024 annual revenue for the industry, online content only, $71.6 billion. That's a big number, sure, it sounds like a lot of money, but here's some perspective. That is more than the National Football League, Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, and the National Hockey League combined. And so if you think that a 17-year-old can go on a phone and it's not a big deal, it's not going to be that harmful, when this is what you're up against, you're wrong. This is so much bigger than us, so much bigger than any one of us. And they don't care who you are, they don't care how old you are, they don't care what you need, they don't care how you are doing, they don't care what relationships and what influences you have in your life. They just want your clicks, because every click funds it. Even if you don't pay a thing, the advertisements, top of the screen, bottom of the screen, on the side, and before any video can continue, they just want your clicks, and they want you to come back and click again, because it's how they get $71.6 billion a year. They don't care about you. They just want your money. They don't care if it's good for you. They just want you to come back again and again and again. And so they know how to make it addictive, because they want it to be. One more stat. The average age of first exposure is 11. And almost always, first exposure is accidental, not intended, not wanted. It's almost never sought. It's almost always unwanted, unintentional. And so we have a society where an unwanted thing is happening to, on average, 11-year-olds, sometimes some a little younger, some a little older. There's this victimization that is causing a really sad and harmful cycle that starts with 11-year-olds who are not prepared to face or react to what they're being exposed to. So if that's you, and as I look around this room, you're older than 11. So I'm assuming this is the vast majority of us. If this is you, I'm sorry. I am sorry that you were not more well protected, and I am sorry that you were not more well prepared for what to expect, what to do, how to react, and how to handle it when unwanted sexual victimization happened to you in this way or any other. I'm sorry that it happens, and I'm sorry that we, for whatever reason, are not willing to talk about it. Because if it's happening this frequently and this commonly, how foolish that we can't talk about it. That's not going to help anyone, ever. We have to stop letting it be taboo. End this stigma too. Another stigma of mental health. It's affecting all of us. Even if it's not you, you're at most 1 degree removed from this. If it's not you, it's your best friend, your significant other, your child, parent, or grandparent or grandchild. That's as far removed as you can be. So we need to talk about this. So as we talk about it today, there's 2 things I want you to know. First, sex is good. We misuse God's gifts in a lot of ways, including this one, but sex is good. And so the first thing that a Christian should think about sex, first, this is good. It's a good thing that I want all people to take good care of and to treat well, to do good things with it. Freshmen, we just covered this in Genesis, that before there was sin, there was sex. Before Adam and Eve sinned against each other, they had sex with each other. when every person in the world viewed each other, every spouse viewed each other with inherent value and worth, not as an object to be used, but as a person to serve. There was sex, and God said it was good. It was very good. This is the first thing that we should think, so that's where we are first. And then the things we do can fall in line behind knowing this is a good thing and I care about it. A good gift from a good God who wants good things for his people. And also, that porn use is much more an issue of shame than it is of lust. For guys, this shame tends to come in a feeling of just not being in control, not being who I want to be. I'm not in control of things, and so there's a desire to escape. And so escaping into this gives a momentary sense of being in control of something and someone. But as soon as we step away, there's more shame than when we started. And what do we do with shame? We escape it, and then that's where the cycle comes in. For girls, it might be the same, or it might be from finding a sad sense of comfort in the fact that you see you're not the only one who's been mistreated. The comfort of knowing you're not the only one. And that takes away the shame for a moment. But going to something that only tells lies about what sex is, what people like, what bodies are like, what expectations you should have. Girls, no man who will ever really love you would expect you to like or ask you to do anything he has seen there. And it's not only the videos, erotic literature too. It just tells lies. So if you have questions, if you are intrigued about what is sex and you want to know more, I think that's understandable. Talk to someone who's going to tell you the truth. Don't go to a source that's going to give you more lies. Now, if porn use is more of an issue of lust than it is of shame, we address lust with the law, but we address shame with the gospel. So hear it. Hear what Jesus thinks of you. He says, while you're still a sinner, I love you. And you didn't need to do anything to make me love you, therefore you cannot do anything that would make me stop loving you. Nothing you do and nothing that ever is done to you would make me stop loving you. God so loves you so much that he came to earth in the person of Jesus Christ, came into this world, this dirty world full of shame where people misuse God's good gifts. And he came for all of the times that you have objectified or used someone, he was objectified and used to pay for it. For all of the times that you have been abused and violated, he was abused and violated, so he knows how you feel, he knows what you're going through. And he still loves you and still wants to be with you forever. Gospel purity is not just something we strive for in what we teach, it's something we live. And we live it not because we achieve it, but because we receive it. As a baptized, redeemed child of God, you have received, gifted to you, the purity of Christ. Therefore, there has never been a time when you were more pure than you are right now. And there never will be a time when you will become more pure than you are right now. And I think you're doing great. I really can't imagine what I would be like and what my life would be like if I was facing the threats and realities that you have to navigate at your age. And I'm impressed. I don't think I could have done as well as you are. I think you're doing great. We can do better, but I think you're doing great. And if I can help, let me know. Let's sing a song. God, you know all the voices of shame in our lives, all the sources of shame in our lives. Help us to listen to you and not to them, so that we can see and know and trust that there is hope. Keep us focused on you, not on ourselves, so that we can hear you and trust you to be the one who says that we're doing great. And when we fail, we're ready to get back out and try again. You go with us, because we need you. Be with us, help us to live for you.